After 23 years of uninterrupted democracy, it is sad that the electoral process is still dogged by violence. This menace is staring us in the face as the 2023 general election approaches. A civil society organization, Transition Monitoring Group, TMG, has raised the alarm over high rate of political intolerance by states and citizens. In a statement, Chairman of TMG, Awa Musa, lamented attacks on INEC offices and personnel in some states, as well as refusal of state governments to allow opposition to use public facilities for their campaigns and rallies. According to him, the organization will deploy observers across the country to campaign against election violence, thuggery, harassment, and vote buying. So, gentlemen, how important is this collaboration ahead of the general election?
Collaboration is very, very important. Excuse me.
The TMG is partnering the strengthening civic advocacy and local engagement.
It's very important. People have to be sufficiently orientated that election is not a do-or-die affair. You know, the Transition Monitoring Group is complaining about, what's it called now?
Political intolerance.
Political intolerance. And it's even escalated during our time. There are people who are very, and I can understand that, they are angry with the status quo, and justifiably so. But anger alone, anger and being intolerant will not just get you what you want. It will probably escalate the issues. We have cases of governors who will not allow other parties to use certain facilities. You understand? But it doesn't have to be like that. You know, let's live in an atmosphere of live and let live. It's not a do or die affair. So TMG has been on for a long time. TMG has been in existence for a long time. And TMG has always been saying things like this, you know, monitoring the elections and all of that. There are other NGOs. But beyond this collaboration, I don't know, we need to change the way we think in this country.
The politicians
need to change the way they think. If you want me to vote you, for example, or you want me to vote who you are supporting, it's like you are selling a product. You are actually selling a product. Now, you have to convince me to accept that product. Yes or no? Now, you may be able to persuade me based on what you say, but I have the right not to be persuaded. Now, do you need to kill me? Do you need to abuse me? Do you need to insult me? Do you need to deny me of my right or of a privilege I'm entitled to? Because I am not buying. So
that's talking about Nigerians now.
Yes. When you say Nigerians, politicians are Nigerians. Governors are Nigerians. We are all Nigerians.
Non-politicians, actually.
Everybody is Nigerian. You see, we need leaders beyond what these NGOs can only do as much as they can do. Every year they sign what's it called?
Peace accord.
This accord
is always there.
And we still have those elders who are in charge of peace accord. They are honorable men. You get me now? They are concerned. But we need to have a change of attitude. From the church to the CDAs. You know, sometimes when you go to some of the religious houses, some of the things the pastors even say, it's very annoying. It's upsetting. They eat up the polity. I am thinking that it is in places of worship that the decorum is supposed to be taught. There is a popular pastor in this our country, Pastor Adeboye, who said, I am neutral. You understand? I will not say anything explosive because I know that in this my denomination, there are people that belong to different theological countries. Pastor Kuboye of Deeper Life too will not say anything explosive. You know, the other time he said, I will neither endorse nor
even predict who is going to win.
Anybody. There are pastors like that. But there are some other influential pastors, I don't want to name names, but we know them. The kind of things they say, you wonder who they are representing. Now, people who go to those churches, how will they be tolerant? Where do people learn to be tolerant? How many people can TMG and his allies reach out to? That's the truth.
All right, so Dr. After 23 years of democracy, why should any state government refuse to allow opposition parties in their states to use public facilities?
Well, unfortunately, that's where we have found ourselves. It's quite sad because it's always been the same, except for a few states where the government in power is tolerant of the opposition. For instance, what is going on in your state now is a case in point, where the party in power, the People's Democratic Party, is believed to be backing some people against the APC. And what are they doing? They are destroying the billboards of the APC. If you recollect, some 2 days ago, the man they call Lamidi Mukaila, popularly known as Auxiliary, was arraigned in court for destroying the billboard of the APC presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And 2 days after, somebody took a queue in the Barapa area. The man who has the park management system in that place is known as Jamiu Sego, and went on rampage. In that place, they started shooting because they wanted to destroy the APC billboard there. A teenager who was nearby was hit by a stray bullet and he died. We need to get to a point where we should know. Like I said, politics is about conviction. And now that people are realizing that influencing votes by either snatching the ballot boxes or attacking people is an era that we're almost over in this country. They are now trying to ensure that that process that will lead to the voting, they make it uncomfortable for people. Otherwise, for me, and which some politicians have been preaching, what we should be doing, like he said, is to speak to the 96.2 million voters who are registered.
Exactly.
We have 96.2 million voters. So you are going on the streets now. The teenager that you have killed may not be up to 18 for him to vote. You have wasted his life. Some have said the National Orientation Agency is not doing enough. I agree. But like you said, those politicians who are at the top, if you ask me, those who are their supporters are only reading their body languages.
Of course.
Because if you know that I'm the boss here, and I'm saying it, and my body language is also saying it, that I'm against violence, you won't do it. That's what happens. But the moment you have a meeting with some of these and say, no, we should not allow these people to do this, you're already instigating violence. And that's what your supporters are going to take to the field. That's what they are going to execute. TMG is doing a good job. I like Awara Sanjani. They are talking, but we now need to go beyond the talking. That's why a lot of people are against state police. Imagine if PDP that is in power now in Oyo State is the one to provide the police to take auxiliary to court. Will it ever happen? It's a no, it won't happen. So we need now to also ensure that beyond this talking, people should be made to account for their deeds.
All right, Paul Dada, how do we tame this clog?
That's a very big question. That's a very big question. If you ask me, it starts also with the family. And I'll tell you why it starts with the family. They will tell you that the family is the first significant order. They will tell you that in social psychology. At some point, everybody needs to ask themselves this question. This politician that gives me money, or maybe buys bottles of alcohol for them, or gives them drugs, or whatever he gives them, to go and destroy the poster of someone, or to go and foment trouble somewhere, where is the child of that politician? That's the truth. That politician is a parent. His child is probably studying abroad, or is riding in a comfy car somewhere, enjoying himself. And then a child of a peasant is used. I think parents need to begin to talk to their children. What is the worth of your life? You go out, rival foot soldiers, maybe they bring out cutlass or they bring out a gun, shoot you. If you are 21, you end your life there. What were you supposed to become if you have lived beyond 21? If you are 29, you end your life. Is that the purpose of your existence? To be born and to die at 29, not as a hero. Not even as a hero, not someone who went to war and died honorably. You understand? You went to fight a battle that is not yours. So to start with the family, the NGOs are trying. They should keep trying, but they can only do as much. Government itself should talk to the people. Then you need the CDAs, you need the elder society, you need religion. I always say, so it may look like I may sound like a broken record, talking about the religious institutions. Almost every Nigerian is religious. There are Nigerians that listen to their pastors and imams more than their own parents. Their what they call religious leaders are more important to them than their own husbands and their own spouses. Now, it's the truth. It's like that. There are people like that. They will listen to what Daddy Gio is saying. You understand? I used to know one girl that was working with me as an IT student. She mentioned one particular person. She said, if this one said I should marry him, I will marry him. They asked me if I will marry him. That is the level of love people have for the person that she was talking about. Did not even know her, know of her existence. So people should talk to themselves. Religious leaders, street associations, community associations. Let's have a Nigeria where you can have a political view and then you will not be persecuted for it. I said it before. I have a friend in the UK who said that she supports a party and her husband supports another party. Whereas I saw something here, where a wife told the husband, said, you are supporting so and so. I will not give you bedroom service again. In this Nigeria, there is some sort of violence.
Right, so when we talk about political intolerance, there are several issues interwoven. Now, INEC has recorded several arson on its facilities recently. Who do we blame for this constant targeted attacks, which has been described as systematic?
Well, I think what these people are trying to do is to walk ahead of the election and say, when they can't even conduct election, what happens? That's why, like I said, we need...
I hope we do not get there.
We won't. We won't. Because what is going to happen at the end of the day will be, those areas will be left out. Once it doesn't, in a significant way, affect the number that should vote in a particular area, then you move on. Like we said some years back, elections couldn't hold in some parts of Borno, but it did not significantly affect the number that must take part in that election. Maybe I should break it down further. When you have a senatorial district and you say there are 200 wards or 200 polling units, and you've had the election in about 180, 190, then that's any 10 that doesn't fit in, then you move on, because there's enough representation for that area to cover up. So that's what is going to happen. Or in the interim, you lose all the economic benefits that will come with citing an INEC office in your area. Because if you burn it today, they can conduct that election from another point. And what does that mean? It means all your materials are somewhere. On the day of the election, you just bring it there, do your election, and you leave. But there are benefits to citing some of these structures in those areas. Economic benefits to the people there. So that's what they are going to lose. But people are already preparing for war ahead of 2023. So they are targeting those things. this bond. Maybe if we do this, it will stop them from holding the election. But I don't see it working. Because I don't see how burning 10 offices of INEC across the country is going to significantly change anything. What those people should be doing, like we have said here, go out and preach to the people. Vote for me.
All
Vote
right.
for my candidate.
Paul Dada, is this really systematic?
You know, it's very easy to be pessimistic. It's very, very easy to be pessimistic because when you look at what has been happening in the past, but it's also good to be hopeful that things, we are praying that things get better in the country. So why should I be pessimistic? I think that the authorities, you know, I said earlier that we should not rest on our horse, but I believe that where there's a will, there's a way. If we want to get things done in this country, we'll get them done. There's something I've discovered. When a government on any issue, when the government is determined to do something, are you getting me now?
Yes.
Government will have its way. It is something good, no matter what. Let me give a very funny example. You remember the way Oshodi used to be? I'm just giving an example to buttress what I'm saying. Remember the way Oshodi used to be? Very chaotic. There was almost no place to put your leg. If you were driving, it was tough. Then former governor of Lagos State, Fashola, came up and said, demolished the shanties and all of that. And then a lot of people were angry. In fact, I heard someone say, I was passing by, I won't forget. The woman was angry. But look at Oshodi now. It's a wonder to behold. Have you passed that place in the night? You understand what I'm saying? And look at the way it is now. So what I'm saying is that when there is a will to do something good, we'll have our way. All of us need to sit down. Everybody should talk to themselves. Is this Nigeria we want? How many of us have dual citizenship anyway? Even if I have dual citizenship, let me tell you, if you travel abroad now, even if you relocate, you cannot be as free as you are here. I've had a friend tell me that if not because Nigeria is bad now, what will I be doing here? You understand? Here that there's racism and all of that. So if we know that this is the country we have and we love this country, then we must make it work. So it can work if we want it to work.
All right. TMG also talked about citizens' participation and stakeholders' engagements. Now, I would like to know any difference between voter apathy and voter alienation.
Well, like I said, there are some areas in this country where we know already ahead of the election that participation is going to be low. It's going to be extremely low. We know those areas. But in talking of apathy, what we need to do, like we've said, is go out and talk to the people. Let them, assure them that their security is guaranteed if they come out to vote. Because that's the significant thing, security. Number two, which we are getting to, and very quickly, that their votes will count. Number three is that even if you vote for somebody, you should be assured that that person is going to perform.
All right, Dr. Kindly hold your thought while I take John from Abuja. Hello, John.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I want to contribute to
Please go ahead.
discussion.
Please go ahead.
I want to, there's something one of your said concerning violence in the election. They said the main nation of Lagos, that Lagos is, they don't experience a violence. Even during this time of the primary, we are experiencing a violence in Lagos. And during other past elections, we have noted that, like, a place like a Solo, they will not allow them to.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, not so much about how you had it. It's the fact that it's predictable. You know where those things are in Lagos. That's what I said. You know, not a widespread thing in Lagos. You know areas, like I said, I mentioned Oyo State also, that you know areas where there will always be issues. And it's a matter of concentrating on those areas. But going back to what we're saying, we now need to ensure that voters don't become like a desiccant. People are willing to come out to vote. Already some people have given up on the country. They believe that whether they vote or not, what our leaders will do is what they will do. Because a lot of things don't work. Recall process, even for our lawmakers, is too tough.
Very cumbersome.
Cumbersome. Though it is good, because people will also
Yeah.
walk into that system and make a mess of it. But even where we are saying that this man is not efficient, to recall him is a problem. And once he has money with him, and the governor is supporting him, he cannot lose the re-election. So people, we are despondent. We are like, okay, whether we go out to vote or not, these people, we have their way.
All right, Paul Dada, quickly.
Yeah, voter apathy is what I've always complained about. Of course, I have covered elections. I've covered elections. Especially in Lagos here, you will see boys playing football on the. If you ask them, they will tell you, we don't know. They don't already write the results. But I expect things to change now, because if you look at the way people went to register, especially young people, if you look at the population, the voting population, there is an increase. You understand? I hope it also translates to actual voting on that day. I also think that with the innovations, the beavers and all of that, it may have restored some people's confidence in the process. It's very important that people show interest, because if you don't show interest, if you don't vote, you do not have any reason to start complaining that, okay, the person that is there is not doing well. Did you vote? Maybe your vote will have made a difference. So I expect voter apathy. I expect more interest in voting this time around.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen.